Okay, Steve, where you go?
Alrighty. Okay, before we get started, please be advised that the Committee of Adjustment hearings are recorded and a copy of the recording will be posted to the city's website and YouTube channel. Those in attendance may be included in this footage. By attending this meeting, you agree to be part of this recording. Okay. All right. There's Miriam. Okay. Before we get going, does anyone have any items they would like to discuss regarding the procedural orders?
No, I'll move them.
All right, Cheryl will move. Daniela will second. On favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay, on to the first one. Okay, first item on the agenda is submission number A 26043, notice of public hearing under section 45 of the Planning Act, Article 1990. The address is 38 Bloomsbury Court. The applicant is Wendy Frazier. The purpose is to permit an accessory building. Variances questioned are one, to permit an accessory building with an east interior side yard setback of 0.4 meters, whereas 0.6 meters is the minimum required. Okay, I don't believe we had anybody, any members of the public for this. So we can go on. Okay, is Wendy here or her
Yeah,
agent?
yeah, it was Wendy and Judy. Well, I mean, we deferred this because there was
Yes, I
nobody there.
am.
Oh,
Okay,
there they are.
yeah.
They are in person. Wonderful. Okay. All right, Wendy, Judy, I assume you've had a chance to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No,
Okay, wonderful. All right. Sandra, just before we go to, we didn't have any members of the public here for this, did we?
Through the chair, we had one member register, but I do not see them as of yet, unless there was
Okay.
a phone number in here I thought I saw. But, oh, it's
Okay.
just a phone.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that is a member of the public or not. 519-920-000. Could you please *6 to unmute and let me know your name and what application you're here for?
Mhm. Well, while we're doing that, the staff, is there anyone in committee room that is here for this?
Turn yours off. Through the chair, there's no members of the public here for any items.
Okay, great. All right. All right. Well, we'll get moving on, and if they
Yep, let's go.
unmute themselves, we are good.
This
Okay.
is a deferral, right?
Yeah. Okay, on to committee. Guess we'll start with Jeff. He's in committee room.
Thank you. This is actually Cheryl's question to the applicant. Who built the garage? Was it a corporation, a company, or was it yourself?
I hired a contractor to do it for us, and he happens to be a friend of ours.
I have no further questions. Thanks.
Okay, great. Daniela, any questions?
Yes, through you to the applicants. Is it the entire side of the structure that's too close to the property line or just a portion?
It is not the whole side of the property line. It's 20 feet by 20 feet, so it's just 20 feet on the one side.
And the affected neighbor, you've been in communication with them with the property line that you share?
Yes, I have. I've talked to all my neighbors about it, and they are all fine with it. And I brought one of my neighbors with me to attest to the same fact.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, Cheryl, questions?
Yeah, to the applicant, Wendy, we deferred this because there was some questions from the last time and there was nobody here in attendance to answer the questions and in fairness to you. So now you said you're okay with this report. The report refuses you the right to do that, which would mean you would probably have to take the garage down.
Yeah, no, that's not what I was meaning. We definitely want the variance for that. We had already spoke to the first inspector, had passed it, and then said he would come back again when we had the framing and everything done. In the meantime, that inspector is gone. I don't know if he's just not with the city anymore or where he went, if he's just not my inspector, but we got a new one whose only request was for us to put an electrical hatch in and to show us the insulation around the bottom as per the drawings. My husband had to have heart surgery, so he couldn't do it at the time. And then it was winter. So he had a surgery in January, and then we called them back in the spring when he was able to dig it up and show them the insulation, and the hatch had already been done. And that's when they discovered that the one side was now too close to the fence.
Hmm.
So that's when we became aware of it, just that the whole garage has already been built, past electrical and everything else. It was just this thing that they noticed at the end. So that's why we asked for the variance, because it's already completed. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for today.
So, through you, Mr. Chair, to staff. My question is, would hell freeze over if we accepted this application?
Through the chair. No, Helford would not freeze over if this was granted.
Okay.
Of course, the main reason for regulating setbacks is to ensure there's enough space for maintenance and functionality of the site.
Yeah, I think if I could go in 2 feet and do some stuff at the side of my shed, I don't have a problem with it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Chair. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, Miriam, questions?
No questions, but I feel like if the neighbors are okay with it, then I'm pretty okay with it as well. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same thought. Looking from the drawing that we have, it looks like the garage is just slightly askew on the lot. So there's 24 inches on one side, 28 on the other. You know, it looks like it's just slightly off. So that's kind of why we have only 18 inches at the back, but we have 34 inches at the front. So, you know, other than that, I don't have any issues with this, I don't think.
No, I'll move acceptance of this variance, with the caveat that she never hires a guy again. As a friend measures before he builds.
Buy him a new tape measure.
I agree.
Right? Okay.
So, I'm-
Miriam will
I'm
move,
fine.
sorry, Cheryl will move the application.
Yeah, fine with it. Yeah.
All right, Miriam will second. There's no further discussion. All in favor? I see Jeff's hand. That motion passes 5-0. You don't get a vote. Okay. To the applicant, this permission is not final until the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the London Committee of Adjustment. But with that, we consider the matter to be closed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All righty. Okay, on to the next item.
Yeah.
Next item is submission number A 26045. Oh, sorry, 54. Notice of public hearing under section 45 of the Planning Act, also 1990. The address is 11 Christie Street. The applicant is LS4 Developments, Inc. The purpose is to permit a single detached dwelling. The variances requested are 1, to permit a main building front yard setback of 8.7 meters, whereas 5.1 meters is the maximum permitted. 2, to permit a garage with a front yard setback of 7.1 meters, whereas the minimum setback shall be equal to the main building. 3, to permit a residential garage width of 55%, whereas 50% is the building facade width is the maximum permitted. And 4, to permit a gross residential floor area of 382 meters squared, whereas 245 meters squared is the maximum permitted. Okay. Okay, is somebody from LS4 here?
Through the chair, the agent is in committee room 1 and the owner is online.
Okay, wonderful. All right, is it Michelle? Give me your button.
Yes. My name
Wonderful.
is Michelle Dornbush. I'm with Landrise.
Okay, great. Okay, don't see any members of the public here for this one either. Let me just double check.
Through the chair, we have no members of the public for this
No members.
application.
Okay. Okay. All right, Michelle. I assume you've had a chance to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have had an opportunity to review the staff report. There was some back and forth with staff on this. We did take some time and made some revisions to the design. Overall, staff is supporting 3 of the variances. We have no concern with the information provided. Now, the one variance that is recommended refusal, obviously we have a concern with that. I'm not sure if staff can put the image up of the front of the dwelling, the proposed. Oh, you have it?
We've got
Okay,
it in
so
our package.
if you look at the report package, you can see the front elevation. And from the street view, and a straight on angle, you actually can't tell that the front door is recessed beyond the garage door. And I think this is more of a technical matter wherein the building department doesn't necessarily recognize the covered porch as the main portion of the house. However, when you're taking it all into consideration in terms of the streetscape and what the long-term goal and characteristics of the neighborhood are, I do feel that very strongly that covered porch does meet the intent of what the policies and the regulations are trying to accomplish in these neighborhoods. And there actually are, I was hoping that staff could pull it up. There are 3 other properties. One in particular is 980 Waterloo Street. It's an identical circumstance where the front porch extends, the front door is recessed behind the garage, and it may be a meter to meter and a half difference. And honestly, it doesn't create any detrimental impacts on the neighborhood. And by increasing the size of the front porch, it actually enhances, the pedestrian connectivity because it does allow for additional space for use of the front porch. I guess the biggest concern that I have with the refusal of this, that at the end of the day, is even if we bring the front door forward, make the front porch smaller, it really doesn't change the look of what you're seeing of this dwelling from the street. And to lose that presence on the front porch and result in issues on the inside, because again, if we bring that front porch closer and line it up with the front of the garage, then we're in turn increasing the square footage of the house, which is already a variance. So we are still trying to balance all of these things, one against another, and we do feel that the design is appropriate. It still meets the intent, and again, from all intents and purposes, from our view, the front yard setback should be measured to the front porch. They've told us that if it was screened in, then it would count, but without the screens, it doesn't count. So it's a bit of a technicality, I would say, and from our perspective, that variance would still be appropriate collectively with the other 3 variances that are requested.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, on to committee. Daniela, any questions?
Yes, so in my opinion, front porches are good. So I don't have a problem with this application. Thank you.
All right, great. Cheryl, questions?
I was going to say buy some screening and a stapler, and do the porch, but that's flippant. I'm not being flippant. I actually appreciated everything that's included in this application. I'm just going through it. In case people will see me looking down, it's because I have my other computer on my lap. So I see no problem. I see this as an absolute addition to the street. And so this is going to be a family home, I take it.
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, this is a family home, and it does actually accommodate an additional residential unit as well. So that has been added to the floor level, again, based on, the directives of the province and the city.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problems. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Miriam, questions?
No questions. I'm very well aware of the space. My friends live right across from there. So I've spent a lot of time actually looking at the property from their porch. And I've seen all the streetscape there. There's lots of front parking and whatnot. So there's really no reason why this shouldn't. Yeah, I'm good with this.
Okay. All right. Jeff, any questions?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything either. I think I agree with most of what has been said. I think the front porch in this case is sort of a case where like a carport isn't a garage because it's not enclosed. If it were enclosed, it would be a garage. It's just a quirk of the wording. And I sort of agree that the porch should be included in part of the building, especially if it's enclosed, not enclosed but covered. So I don't have that big of an issue with this. I understand the city is trying to get away from the snout house look and that sort of thing, but in this case, it's not that major a deal. So, yeah. So
Your snout was that big. No one would notice it.
well, exactly. Yeah.
It's not a snout.
It's not a snout house. It's just the garage is a little extended past the front
Yes.
facade. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, I don't have any real issue with this. So with that said, gotta get some direction. Danielle?
I'll move this application.
All right. Danielle will move the application. A second. Cheryl? All right. With that, all discussion, all in favor? That motion passes 5-0. All right, to the applicant, this permission is not final until the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the London Committee of Adjustment. With that, consider the matter to be closed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Okay.
I don't know.
Third item.
Yeah.
All right. Third item on the agenda is submission number A26055. Notice of public hearing under Section 45 of the Planning Act, Article 1990. The address is 375 Regal Drive. The purpose is to permit a detached structure / deck. Various requested are one, to permit an accessory structure with a in the required front yard, whereas accessory structures are not permitted within the required front yard or required exterior side yard. Okay. Is the applicant here for this?
Through the chair, it's the telephone one, Brenda, the owner, and Brenda *6 to unmute.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Hello? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I've never done this before.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Sandra, I do have a member of the public register for this. Are they here? Or Faye
Through the
Johnson?
chair, I do not have anyone here from the public. And yes, she had put down she was attending today.
Okay. All right. Well, if she shows up, we'll get to her then. Okay. Well, that said, does anyone require a presentation on this? Can't imagine.
It's a deck.
Yeah, I know, but you never know. Okay. All right, Brenda. I assume you've had a chance to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
All right.
I don't think so.
Great. All right. We can move on to committee then. Cheryl, any questions?
No.
All right. Miriam.
Nope, thank you.
All right. Jeff.
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Daniela.
No, thank you.
I'm assuming this is just another one of those technicalities where the front deck isn't technically attached to the house, so it's an accessory structure, blah, blah, blah. So, with that,
I'll move it. Okay.
Miriam beat you to it. Miriam.
I'll move.
Okay. Miriam will move the application. Cheryl, you give a second on that? All right. Cheryl will second. There's no further discussion. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. Okay. To the applicant.
Thank you so much.
Oh, hold on. I got to say my spiel. To the applicant, this permission is not final until the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the London Committee of Adjustment. With that said, consider the matter to be closed. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Brenda, the only thing we're asking you is you enjoy your deck.
I got a grandbaby coming. I'm gonna.
Oh, there you go.
You will. I got 4 of them. Love it.
Mm,
Thank you.
okay. No problem. All right. Okay. And the big one for the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is submission number A26056. Notice of public hearing under section 45 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990. The address is 2118 Richmond Street. The applicant is Encore at Upper Richmond Village, Inc. The purpose is to permit an apartment building. The variance is requested. Deep breath. R1 to permit a front yard depth of 7.9 meters, whereas 13 meters is required. 2 to permit an exterior side yard depth of 6 meters, whereas 9 meters is required. 3 to permit an interior side yard depth of 9 meters, where 12 meters is required. 4 to permit a landscape open space of 48%, whereas 48.4% is required. 5 to permit a lot coverage of 30.4%, whereas 28% is the maximum. 6 to permit a height of 45 meters, whereas 40 meters is maximum. 7 to permit a density of 216 units per hectare, whereas 211 units per hectare is the maximum permitted. 8 to permit a building setback from Sunningdale Road East above the 3rd floor of 8 meters, whereas 21 meters is required. 9 to permit a building setback from Sunningdale Road East above the 8th floor of 12 meters, whereas 29 meters is required, and 10 to permit 16 short-term bicycle parking spaces, whereas 17 is required. Okay. Is the applicant here?
Through the chair, Carlos is here.
Oh, there he is. Hi, Carlos. How are you?
Nick Dijak is also here in the room with SBM agent.
Okay, great. Okay, we don't have any members of the public registered for this. We did receive some correspondence, though. Okay. All right. Where did Carlos go? Oh, there he is. Hi, Carlos. Okay, I assume you've had to read the report from the city. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Absolutely. I did submit a presentation as well. I don't know if everyone had a chance to look at it, but I did want to provide some context because there's a lot of technical input that has gone to this application, and they're all kind of intertwined. And of course, we do appreciate the staff recommendation for approval on most of the items, except for variances number 6 and 7 for height and density, which I will get into a little bit further. And then for number 10, regarding the bicycle parking, I do want to say that we are in agreement that variance probably isn't required. We can easily accommodate that with an upgraded bicycle parking detail. So if it is approved, that's fine. We can still add it in, but that one is not needed. But I did want to refer to the presentation that I provided. And I don't know if you have it available for you on your laptops or paper version, but I'll try to refer to the pages as I go along. I did want to kind of start and overlook at all of the variants together. They do kind of come together as to one holistic design building. Firstly, regarding the setbacks, those are easily justified given the additional road widening for the site, which constrains the site horizontally, bringing the property limits toward the building a little bit closer. That also impacts the step back distances as well. So that's the main reason why those requirements are needed, so those variances. And if you look at the page 3 and 4, you can kind of flip back. You can see page 3 is the 2024 version, the version that was approved with the zoning bylaw amendment through council, as stated in the report. And page 4 is the newest site plan with the 2024 footprint on there, and they're virtually the same. So there is some subtle differences in terms of building width and a little bit of length. But for the most part, it is the same building, same location, just has some subtle differences in where the staircases are located, like I said, the widths of the buildings has been modified a bit. And then there are some changes in the overall parking layout configuration, ramp location, and which also impacts the landscape and the overall coverage, which is also addressed in the report. And I do appreciate the support on those variances. I think those are absolutely minor in nature. The big one is the height and the density. So I bring your attention to page 5 and 6. Page 5 shows, or slide 5 shows the topo survey, the contours of the site. You can easily see that the south portion of the site, which is on the right side, is approximately 6 to 7 meters higher than on the west side. So there's a substantial change in elevation on that site, which on page 6, you can see currently the construction going on the site, the vehicle and the trailer on site are clearly below the grade of Sunningdale. So that does provide a substantial impact on the design. So in 2024, the building that was designed used Sunningdale as its ground floor elevation and worked backwards, which creates a great building in terms of access to Sunningdale Road. They had direct units onto Richmond as well, except those units, as it got further north, were elevated and required terracing and stairs to get up to those units because they were significantly higher than the road. But more importantly, or more challenging, was the ramp and the underground parking. The ramp to get into the site had to be steep and long in order to climb up 2 stories of height from Richmond. So to match that, you had to essentially raise the whole building, or the parking garage. So in the back corner of the northeast, which is the top of your page, the parking garage was essentially floating above the ground with a huge 2-story parking garage and a wall essentially surrounding the entire site. So significant costs, significant engineering challenges that came with that. Through the more detailed engineering, obviously some significant redesign was looked at the building, and what happened was they used Richmond Street as the guiding floor elevation and sunk the entire building down. So with that, obviously the physical outside site plan had to change, but also internally as well. So your ground floor units are no longer there, they're now below grade. So you had to increase the building height, add those buildings somewhere else. You had to reconfigure amenity rooms and mechanical rooms and your units somewhere else. So stairways had to be moved, and there's a lot of redesign. Some of those redesigns included the width of the building to accommodate structure. Some building locations also addressed unit sizes. Some of the units got bigger. There was a substantial change in like the typical floor plans that were provided because we had to move things around. So ultimately, there was a minor increase of units of 4 units overall. The number of bedroom and configuration did change. Simply put, there was an increase of 2 units of 1 bedroom and 2 units of 2-bedroom units that were spread out through the site. So very minor change in terms of density. And the height did also change. Obviously, we had to sink the building. We added new levels to accommodate the additional units. Bear with me one moment here. I just want to make sure that I hit everything that I wanted to present to you guys. Oh, the biggest thing is the measuring of building height. So that has been a very lengthy conversation and how we measure these buildings. Obviously, with a site like this, a flat site would be easy to measure the height. This has a significant change. So the way that we measure these sites on sloped areas, you take the average grade. Because the average grade depends on the final grading, that has changed. So in 2024, they use the building elevation of the final floor elevation of the first floor, the ground floor elevation. But that is not the average grade. If you look at the new site, the new grading, the new building location on vertically, that average grade has changed as well. So now they're still using the average floor plan or the ground floor elevation to measure from, but that average grade changes throughout the site. And it was different in 2024, it's different now, and in 2 years, if there's any changes, it might be different again. So measuring from the average ground floor is very difficult for a site like this, and it's hard to pin down exactly. So with this current 2026 version of the plan, if you look at the site from Sunningdale and you're looking at the new proposed building, it would be 40 meters in height, because from Sunningdale, you're entering into the second floor of the building. The first floor is actually below grade of Sunningdale. If you look at Richmond, it would be 42.5 meters. If you look at it from the back, it's 45. So there's a variation in the building height all the way around. So this variance, what it asked for was 45, which is the worst case scenario. But most likely, if you take the average grade, it's going to be less than that, between 40 and 45. So with that, I did review the report, obviously, and like I said, I appreciate all the comments and the recommendations for support of those of most of the variances. With regard to the height and density, I disagree with staff. I do wholeheartedly support the committee's ability and the authority to make that decision, because the Planning Act, as it states very clearly, as long as it meets the intent and purpose of the official plan. I think that the application that before you is meeting that intent and purpose. It meets the official plan, urban design policies. It does meet the intent and the purpose of the special policy area as well. It is within the committee's authority to make changes to zoning, and that is why it's been established to make those changes. It's not meant to be held to an official plan. The official plan does not regulate land use in built form. It certainly guides and provides policy direction to staff to implement through zoning. And I, in my opinion, all the variances should be approved. I believe they meet the 4 tests of the Planning Act. That's it.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, no members of the public here for this, so move on to committee. Where are we? We are Cheryl. Questions?
Actually, Nick gave us, well, answered a lot of my questions. Not that I had a lot of questions, because basically what we're looking at is we're looking at height, density, and one bike stop. So we always seem to end up into density and height and things like that. But I think the explanation, well, it helped me a lot, is the lay of the land and understanding to build on that land properly, you needed to do that. So I have no problems with this application at all. So the fact is, I don't even care if there's only 16 bike, and I'm sure that they can adjust it and make 17. So quite honestly, I much rather make the decision here in London than send it to Toronto, and they will of course make the same decision. And I like to make our own decisions here, so I'm supportive of this because I don't think it's that way off. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mariam, any questions?
No questions, but I had a look around and I mean, the area can support that extra height density. Yeah, I'm okay with this one. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, Jeff.
Variance 10, I thought was put in there to make sure that members read the report.
Yes.
It's got to be in there, you know.
I'm good with this application. Thank you.
All right, Daniela, any questions?
No, thank you. I have no questions.
I've got a couple of questions, but they're fairly minor. To Nick, you answered most of my questions that I had. The total height, that includes the mechanical room on the roof, I assume.
Chair, that is correct. The penthouse does include the mechanical height as well. York provides an amenity room up there as well, so that's all included in the total height.
Okay, so with the grade change, the total height from the lowest point in the lot is like 38 meters instead of 45. There's about a 5 to 7 meter change across the lot.
Across the lot right now, yes, there's about 6 to 7 in a bit.
Okay. And with the density change, how many units are projected total?
Total, it's an increase from 158 units to 162 units.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because we often get people that get confused with and they assume that it's going up to 216 units when it's just it's a calculation, not a total unit. So, yeah, I don't have any real issues with it. I actually like the site plan and the way it's been located with the largest parts of the building on Richmond as opposed to across from the houses, and the back where the ramp for the parking is. You kind of use the grade of the lot to accommodate that as well. So no, I don't really have any issues with this. So, well, that said,
I'll move it.
all right, Cheryl will move. I see Jeff's hand. Is that a?
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, Jeff will second. There's no further discussion. All in favor? That motion passes 5-0. All right, to the applicant, this permission is not final until the expiration of the statutory appeal period of 20 days from the date the decision has been signed, during which the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body may file with the Secretary Treasurer an appeal against the decision of the London Committee of Adjustment. Almost had it. But with that, consider the matter to be closed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, committee. Have a good weekend.
You too.
That additional sheet that he sent in was very helpful, I have to tell you. And secondly, Steve, I want to wish your parents happy 60th anniversary.
63rd.
63rd. That's wonderful.
Sure. They were married in 63 and this is their 63rd anniversary.
God bless her.
God bless my mother. She is a patient woman, I'm telling you.
Yes, definitely. She is. All the best parents.
All right. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Nobody? All right. Miriam, Jeff, all in favor? That motion passes 5-0. We stand adjourned. All right, everybody.
Thanks to staff. Good meeting. Good chair. Good chair. All right, guys.